Just let me do a roll call. Sandy, you're here. Wonderful. Andrew, I can see Andrew. Shankar, wonderful. And Atul. Okay, so all the judges are here. Let me just confirm if the judges are here. Echo scan, you're here. Wonderful. Tayyib, salam alaikum. Uh,
Hello.
Green Guardians. Green Guardians. Any Green Guardians? Yeah, Hannah. Salam alaikum as well. Blockchain for plastics. Wonderful. Arnav. And Replastify. It's Arush, right? Arush, you're from Replastify or Shreyas? You're from
No, blockchain for plastic.
Blockchain. Okay. Shreyas, you're from Replastify?
Yes, I am.
Wonderful. So let's get started. Thank you so much, judges, for being here. It takes a lot of courage to take out time for something like this, which probably doesn't give anything in return. So that's the power of the Thai ecosystem. Salut, Adnan Karim from France. So we have France in the room, we have Hungary in the room, we have India in the room, and we have United States in the room. Wow, that's like a big diversity. So as I said, there will be a timer that will be running. Initially, you will have 5 minutes to pitch, and then you will have 8 minutes for Q&A and feedback, and then 2 minutes to transition. To the judges, can I request you to just give me a thumbs up if you have this link with you ready for the scoring? I can see Andrew. Sandy, you have the link to score? Atul? Shankar has it. Atul and Sandy don't seem to have it. Okay, so I will send the link to you right now on chat so you can open it up. That's the one for scoring. And my colleague Veera will also have this where we can see real time whether you have scored. So once all these turn to Y and green, then we move to the next team. So when you get to scoring, please do it as fast as possible. Let me stop sharing and let me share the link with I sent it to. I hope I don't send it to the team members.
You are sharing it on a WhatsApp, right?
I'm sharing it on the Zoom link right now, the Zoom chat.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and Sandy, you also said you don't have the link, right? Yeah, cool. So both of you have the link now. The
Yes.
first team to go on stage is EcoScan. EcoScan, can you share screen, please?
Hello. Hi, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, but I can't see you. Tayyib. Yes, I can see you, Tayyib. Yeah, go ahead, share your screen.
Oh. Hi, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. Can you put it on full screen mode?
Yes, sure. Is that okay?
नहीं ठीक है अभी नहीं it's not coming as a presentation mode. It's still in the slide sorter mode.
Oh.
Click on these two arrows which you are.
Yeah,
Yes, right
This
now.
got it. Wonderful. Wonderful. So, Tayyib, give me a good smile. Take a deep breath, relax. Take a deep breath, relax, and your time starts now.
Hi, so my name is Taib Ismail, and so I'll be presenting my solution, which is EcoScan. So basically, obviously, the challenge was that we had to solve the mixed plant contamination, and we had to make sure that only the gloves were in one box and the other PPEs were in other box. So this was the main issue, and answer wanted it that we do it at the point of use, as in where the customers are using it. So for that, we've made an integrated solution in which we've added gamification, we have added the video training, and we added a log system with the pings. So let's move on. I'll show you. So the first one is the gamification part. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to make the users, the customers, we're trying to make it a game for them so that as many things they recycle, the more points they get. So they have an incentive to maybe they can have some cashbacks or something like that later on. But it's an incentive, it's like a game for them so that they can properly recycle. So for that, there's a dynamic QR code on the top of the screen, LED, and so they can just scan the code, or you can take a picture of the RFID of the PPE that you're using. So that will also help you, as you can just put it in the app and it will check if that is the same PPE that you discarded, and so it can cross-examine it. So the next part is the locking mechanism for the bin. So what we have is that the person cannot throw away the item unless it's scanned and ensure that it is a fintech or a clean guard item. This makes sure that other brands are not thrown away with the items of Ansel. So for that, we also made up backups. So if the person is a regular user who has a history of proper disposal, so they can have an access properly. If this is a backup, or they have manual unlock or a temporary code that's provided to them in case the scanner is not working. Next is we were providing multiple levels of verification. So there's a pre-disposal check. The person checks it and it throws it inside their antennas for the RFID scanner, who checks the RFIDs again. And if they are not compliant, then there's an alert system which checks if the items are not compliant, then it tells the supervisors to come and properly dispose of it. The next part is the image recognition software. So basically, there will be a camera inside it, and it will make sure that no gloves are inside the other PPE boxes and no other PPEs are inside the glove boxes. As obviously, people, if they're being lazy, they can just scan one thing and they just throw away all of it in a bunch. So if it shows the camera, if the camera scans the contents and it checks if there's a glove in the PPE box, and it obviously flashes red. And it's a low-cost solution because a camera and a small image recognition software is a very low cost solution instead of changing the whole way the recycling is done. So the next thing is behavior-based training and enforcement. You have to make sure that people want to recycle properly. So there are color-coded bins, there are audio and visual prompts, so that when the person interacts with the bins, there's a audio playing that please only throw gloves in this box, or please only throw PPE in this box. And there's initial training of the do's and don'ts, so that people actually train to do this, so that if they don't want to do this, then it's actual manual effort to actually properly think of it and then not do it. So this is the complete workflow. You approach the bin, you verify the item, you discard the item, you can scan the QR code for awards. There's an audio video feedback in case it doesn't work. And then there's the post disposal check, and then the other percent post bin. So the key benefits are there's efficiency sorting because it reduces contamination. Other than that, it's a user-friendly design because of the gamification and the color codes. People are able to look at it properly. There's data and insights.
Last 1 minute.
Because of the QR codes and you can properly track the disposal, you can see which customers are not doing it properly. So you can have training again over there, or you can have them properly sort them or train them first again. It's a low cost and scalable solutions because other solutions such as thermal imagery cameras cost like $10,000 per camera. So this is a basic camera, a basic RFID checker. So this is a very helpful solution. Another thing that you can do in the future is because Ansel has taken over the Kinberg Cloud, they can add visual markers or specialized material markers into the clothing, which can make the camera, which can make it easier for the camera to detect the logos or detect the colors and then sort it according to that. So yeah, I think I'm done. Thank you.
Wonderful. So you can remove your screen sharing. I can stop it. Yeah, let's start off with, just 1 second before that. Sandy, are you able to hear us now? Sandy, I think your audio is disconnected because I can't see the audio icon for you here. Your audio is disconnected. So maybe if you can log off and log in back. Okay, I think he's speaking to someone else. Okay, Andrew, let's go with you. Your first question. Veera, can you start the timer for the judges, please? Cool.
Can you give me a sense of who you would market this to? Who would be your buyer? What's your target audience?
So our target audience right now is Ansel because they have recently acquired Kinberg Cloud. So they do want to show that they're making some effort and they're trying to change how things have been going on. So they can probably put this into effect with the customers and try to train them so effectively so that obviously they want to make Kinberg Cloud profitable. So this will help them because as they recycle it, they can use it in other items that they are producing, other plastic items that they're producing. So it can be helpful for them.
So Ansel would be the payer. They would actually be giving you money for the service that you're offering.
Yeah. Or you can do it, or you can do it multifaceted and have the customers do it too if they are making some money out of it, as is the answer. I think so. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next.
Yeah, Shankar.
Hey, Ismail. Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah,
Ismail, can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you.
So Ansel is the company that does the recycling, as you understand, and the customers are going to be giving their PPE to Ansel, as I understand. Your idea that you've got in terms of gamifying it, putting RFIDs and cameras, these are all very innovative, wonderful ideas. My question here is, when a customer gathers all the PPEs, going through these processes, these steps to Ansel for recycling, what is the incentive for the customer to go through all this process or introduce all these technologies there?
Okay, so basically, according to the challenge they showed us and the video they showed us, they said that Ansel has their recycling partners, and so they get these boxes of recyclables from the customers of Ansel. So the recycle partners get the boxes, and then they recycle it, and then they give them the pellets back. So this is the whole process. So Ansel basically will pay us to implement this in the customer's office, because as a result of it, they can get more recyclables back, because their recycling partners, if they see that a box is, as they showed in the video, they were explaining it. If the box is contaminated, and even one item is contaminated, then they discard the whole box. So this is a very, if you're discarding a whole box, you're losing a lot of plastic. So obviously, what you want is that you can make a solution so that the boxes that you get, as you can check with as much precision as you can, that there isn't any plastic, other blended plastic in them, so they can recycle it properly. So Ansel gets the pellets from the recycling partner, and then basically, if as far as I understand, recycling partners and Ansel are different companies. So they give it to the partners, and then they recycle it. And if they don't, if the boxes are contaminated, then they throw it. Obviously, as was a challenge for S1, if Ansel is also thinking of making a subscription model, so that the customers, they want to throw away the recyclables in proper way, so that they get incentives. So also the gamification model is a way, because as you scan more and more, you get more points, and obviously they can be claimed for maybe gift cards or cashback or something like that, some type of incentive. So there's two sides.
Thank you.
Cool. Atul?
Right, good pitch. Anyways, congratulations, you made it so far. So I have like several questions because I'm a product manager, so I can see the journey and see the roadmap from starting to the end, right? So first of all, you explained like three different level of the authentications, right?
Yes.
My question is like why? Because where you will place these three type of the verifications? Because one is okay where you are scanning the code, but other is I like it seems not like okay to me. But again, as you mentioned, like these as you showed, like the different bins for the different things, and you mentioned like these will play the audio, like I am for this particular thing. So is this audio play like when someone tried to put something in, or is this audio play at a parallel time? Few questions in the ideation journey, because the question was already asked by the Andrew about the your total addressable market, like who you are selling to the user, or like who is visiting the answers, or is it like installed on the answers, like where they are collecting this particular stuff to recycle, right? So another question is like camera, as you mentioned, where you are going to install this camera, inside the bins or outside the bins? Just only few these questions for the moment.
Okay. So obviously, our market is basically Ansel, because as a result of the proper disposal of the recyclables, they get the pellets back, in which they can recycle them and they can convert them into other plastic products. So it's a huge boom for them, because a lot of plastic is being thrown out just because of little contamination. So this is the plus point for them. The small camera will be placed inside the bin, and along with the RFID antennas or the scanners, so that they can check the RFID tags. Along with that, the verifications work. That's why we've placed multiple verifications. So the audio one is, as soon as audio one will obviously be playing inside the bin. So when the bin opens, they can be played that please only throw gloves in this box. So for example, if a person is really a lot of, I mean, people are kind of lazy. So if they open the box and they just want to throw away the stuff, they just want to throw away the gowns and the gloves at the same time. If the audio is playing that, please only throw away gloves, or please only throw away your shirt at that time. So obviously, it will make them active about it, and they will have to throw away gloves like consciously if they want to. So that will put them on the spotlight. So that's the whole point, that there are multiple levels of verifications. So that if they do want to cross it, then it is a barrier for them. Because obviously I can't stop them because there are different types of PPE. If you put a computer vision model, the PPEs pretty much look the same, especially in a dark dustbin. So I can't just put it in and tell them to just separate it. You have to make sure that it's a barrier for them to throw it away properly.
Yeah, let me stop you there, Taib. Teams as well, try to keep your answers very crisp because we have a short window. Sandy, I assume that because you were not able to hear the most part, you don't have a question. So for now, we will skip Sandy, Shankar, Andrew, and Atul. If you have any feedback, we have around 45 seconds. Just crisp feedback for that. Andrew?
My crisp feedback would be focus on how you're going to find the money to create the reward and the consumer participation. The solution sounds interesting. It sounds like it's going to be expensive to implement, but I don't get a sense of where the money is coming from to reward the user for the gamification participation.
Shankar, anything on your side?
On the same lines. Yeah, you got a good presentation.
Cool. Atul?
Let it start with the small MVP where you can just install like small cameras and the mic into like one particular area and see the traction. And like on the basis of the same, like if you will get good response on the MVP, then you can proceed further because the idea is good. And if implemented in a way, and you can scale it up.
Wonderful. So let's now get into scoring. And maybe because Sandy is not going to be scoring, can I request Sandy to just give a short intro of what his day job is apart from being a jury member here? Sandy, over to you. The other judges, you can start scoring, please.
Is that for me?
Yes, Sandy. Could you just give a short intro about yourself so the teams and the judges know who you are?
Okay, thank you. Apologies, I could not, get to hear the whole pitch. But I'm Sandy Agarwal. I'm based out of St. Petersburg, Florida. Moved there from Philadelphia. PPP is definitely a subject. Sustainability is a great subject, close to everybody's heart. And we as entrepreneurs, my background is technology. I run operations in US and in India, and happy to connect with all the young entrepreneurs, great ideas. Loved some of the things that I saw from Tayyab's pitch, and hopefully in the next 2 or 3, I'll be able to contribute more. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Sandy. Let me move on. All the judges have scored. Green Guardians, can you start screen sharing?
Yes, I can see. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Who's presenting from Green Guardians?
Hello, I'm Hannah. I'm presenting for Green Guardians.
Yes, Hannah. Wonderful. Hannah, Vida, can you just put the timer on? Hannah, because the breakout room doesn't give the option to spotlight, so maybe you'll have to keep the view in gallery view so you can see the timer. Yeah.
Sure. Yep.
Cool. Okay. Show me a good smile, Hannah. Deep breath, and your time starts now.
Sure. So hello, everyone. We are Team Green Guardians for waste classification. And we have taken up the sustainability challenge for Ansel. And we are a 3-member team, Adnan, myself, and Horace. So here we are trying to solve this problem for Ansel, where we want to effectively and safely sort used PPE that's eligible for the Right Cycle program. And the eligible items that the Right Cycle does take are the nitrile and the latex glove, protective eyewear, apparel, masks, and accessories, and the flex film packaging. So as we know, this is a free program that the Right Cycle offers to its customers, so they can benefit from their recycling service that doesn't cost them anything, given that they're only using the CleanGuard and the Kimlin brands. So the challenges that we found that the Ansel might be facing right now is they want to separate the nitro gloves from all other KimTech and CleanGuard PPE. They want to segregate by material type and brand, and they also want to separate all nitro gloves from all other polypropylene PPE. And thirdly, they also want to segregate hazardous and non-hazardous PPE. Given those key challenges, the primary focus is optimizing the sorting process for eligible PPE, reduce the contamination risk, and decrease the cost, which is basically if any of the material that's in the bin is contaminated, the shipment would be returned, which is an additional cost to the customer. So that's why it's important that it is segregated appropriately. Everything is going to the right bins, the nitro gloves versus all other polypropylene or any other plastic material, as well as all the gear is separated based on brand, which is Kimled and CleanGuard going to one bin and everything else going to another bin. So our inspiration was brought to us by, we were inspired by working with this community-based organization where the goal was to separate landfill, compost, and waste material. And mostly, even if people have the knowledge, they're not able to put it in the right bin. So we took this idea and we thought we could expand it to the Ansel Right Cycle program, where we are focusing on segregating PPE, waste by brand, material, and hazard level. And our aim is to reduce the contamination and improve recycling efficiency. So what our solution does is our solution uses machine learning and computer vision to automate sorting PPE waste by type, differentiates between various PPE items, brand separates brands like KimTech, CleanGuard, and material where it identifies nitrile, polypropylene, and other materials. It also detects the hazard levels and non-hazard material, and this automated sorter reduces human error, minimizes contamination, lowers operational cost. So again, this goal here is to design method that can make sorting safer, more effective, and less prone to contamination. How do we do that? Our solution is basically an image classification solution for brand and type determination. And here we would train a computer vision model to identify PPE items by a brand, which is KimTech and CleanGuard, and material type. So this would allow automated differentiation of acceptable items, reducing human dependency and contamination risk. Again, the automated object detection and sorting is basically, done by a conveyor-based system where there are cameras and sensor linked through the classification model. And as items pass through, the system directs them to specific bins, improving sorting speed, reducing contamination, and lowering cost through automation. So here's like a process flow where the PPE is collected with bins with QR codes and RFID scanners. There's automated sorting and detection that's happening right there with cameras and sensors where they capture the images. Then the AI image classification happens where the CNN model classifies items by brand like CleanGuard and KimTech and material type, which reduces human error. The non-hazardous and hazardous material is also inspected by IR or hyperspectral imaging checks for hazardous material. And then the automated bin collection happens where sorted items go to specific bins with the system monitoring levels to optimize pickup schedules and reducing emissions. The key technologies we've used are the machine learning models.
Last 1 minute.
Here are some key technologies: infrared and hyperspectral imaging for material detection and Internet of Things sensors, as well as automated alerts and data integration for the ERP system to automate recycling reports and shipment schedules. Benefits are sustainability, keeps more waste out of landfills, promoting efficiency, scalability, and the positive environmental impact where we want to reduce our landfills. This can again be achieved for the material type, the spectral imaging or infrared thermography. Here's some details on how this technology works. And here we've implemented it on Hugging Face, where we took a picture of a strawberry and we wanted it to classify if it is organic or recycling waste. And it did detect to 84% that it is an organic waste. Road Ahead is where we can predict in future what were the types of PPEs that we're using currently in a day at Ansel or any other provider for that matter, and we could predict shipment cost and the contamination levels. And thank you so much for the opportunity and listening. That's all from our side.
Wonderful. Bang on time. Cool.
Hey, let me take a break. Sandy, are you having a problem scoring, please? Because you have not scored the prior team.
No, he had a problem with hearing it, so he didn't hear the whole pitch, and that's why he's not scored it. Yeah.
We'll leave it at 0. So moving on.
Thank you. You're doing your job as the college principal very well, Dr. Lopez. Wonderful. So maybe we will give Sandy the opportunity.
We'll have to cut his space. Sorry, Sandy.
Sandy, first question from you, please.
Well, the whole plan looks excellent. How are we ensuring the separation of contamination, and two, ensuring that the brands outside of the two brands from Ansel are get removed at the place where they are being put into the bins instead of reaching at the client location?
Sure. So primarily, we provided a solution to, segregate the brands. And since all items might look alike, so we have, used this convolution neural network where it would take images of the items, and then it would be able to identify the differences between different brands. This is quite a challenge because they might all look alike. But we can also use infrared or hyperspectral technology where the lights might, capture some images where there's a difference of the material, as well as what material those brands are using to actually manufacture these products. So ideally, the CNN should be able to capture that property, whereas there's a differentiation between different brands. We do think it might be a challenge. So therefore, we have recommended also using other technology like infrared or hyper spectral imaging, which can capture how these, the materials that's used in that material for different brands, how that reflects to different lights. And those images are then captured and fed into the CNN model. And then they're trained in terms of, what is the type of the brand. And therefore, then the predictive model can predict based on that trained model.
Cool. Atul, next question, please.
Hannah, it was a wonderful pitch. You covered almost everything which need to be there. Just one suggestion, like put numbers at the end, like what exactly, when you are resolving this problem in the numbers, like how it will impact, like in the terms of the numbers or the percentage, it will impact the answer, right? Like which problem you are resolving and like how profitable they are, or like this sort of the problem in the numbers. And another question is when you mentioned about the IR checker and the IoT devices, right? My question is like, are you also placing the separate bins for that, or like you are trying to place a technology like which can separate the things by itself?
So at the point of use, they would be separate bins, and then they would be installed with cameras that would be backed up with a object detection algorithm or a CNN, where the image would be captured for the item that they're going to dispose of, and then the model would tell them if it is Kimtech or CleanGuard brand or some other brand, and then they could put it in a different bin. And we can also automate this with technology, so later on we want to minimize human error doing that.
Because this is a consumer journey, and like when you mentioned the IoT devices and the IR checker, I believe like user journey can be like more easy. Like if something can be placed in a picture, like which can separate the things by itself. So this thing is also possible. You can take more future scope from this. Like once this thing is done, because if you have like every scanner and every check in the place, you can even like make the user journey more easy. Anyways,
so that's why we mentioned
and everything is good.
Thank you. So that's why we mentioned the conveyor belt system also, where they can place the items, and then with machines or other technologies, they could be separate out based on the CNNs.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you for the next question, please.
Hannah, I've got a question and a suggestion. You do have various technologies used, IoT, RFID, conveyor belts. Did you guys consider doing this in phases, or you want to propose the whole thing right in the beginning?
So we want to take the agile methodology, and our basic solution offers a computer-based solution where we're doing image classification to determine the brand type, and then obviously the material type can be detected through IR or thermographic technology. So we want to take the agile approach where we're doing in minimal phases, first just applying the computer vision technology, and then later on testing it out with other technologies and what works best, because we do understand it's going to be a challenge when it comes to implementation. So we want to try one thing at a time.
One suggestion I would make for you in the next round is you had to speak nearly 150 words per minute, I think. So if you want to concise your presentation for the next round, then it's much easier for you to present it and also for the judges to receive it.
Thank you, Shankar.
Do that.
Andrew?
So you've got a lot of automation in there. Where there is careless behavior, how do you plan on extracting contaminated contents if it's automated, and how far down that automated funnel do you get humans involved to be able to start extracting contamination or identification of potential contamination so that the automation doesn't end up infecting, quote unquote, infecting a batch of clean stuff that's already been processed?
Sure. So this was another challenge we had to think about, and basically from the technology that we are trying to apply, which is AI based, we came up with this computer vision technology, which there is a model called YOLO, and Adnan, you can emphasize more on this, where you could localize the objects and it would actually detect the boundary lines for if there was any contaminated material present, and that's how it would identify if there was contamination or no. And then again, where the human intervention part comes in, we want to automate it through some sort of, conveyor belt system or, sending out an alert if there was a contamination present, and it should segregate that item out.
Okay, recommendation. You read a lot of your slides, a lot of the content, and others you didn't. I would pare back the amount of content you've got and standardize on colors and font size. It made it really difficult to listen to you and to try and scan the slides at the same time.
Awesome. Any feedback from the judges, or else we can move to scoring? And can I request Atul to introduce himself and let the audience know who you are and what's your other avatar?
Hi, my name is Atul. I'm into the cybersecurity, and I'm also a product manager. So I am you can say it's a unique combo. Like I'm also filling the gaps with the security and the product management. So I'm with the 14 plus years of the experience, and as concerned with the TiEU, I'm associated with TiEU from last 7 years, and certainly I'm a charter member as well as I'm a chair of a SIG in TiEU Chandigarh. So this is a small journey.
Wonderful.
In case if you need to more, you can connect me on LinkedIn.
Thank you. And may I request the judges as well to probably put in your LinkedIn as and when you are free on the chat, so teams can connect to you. The next team that's going to be pitched is blockchain for plastics. And Shankar, we have not yet got your score, so we will wait for you. But the blockchain for plastics, why don't you start screen sharing? Okay, can you put it on full screen mode?
And Pradeep, I'm just checking in, all going well, including 1 minute intros by judges, etc. All going well?
All going good. The dinner is still not been served, so we're just waiting for that.
Actually, I was in charge of dessert only, so that'll be later. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Shankar, waiting for your scores. Cool. But like a couple of judges said, teams, I think you only have 5 minutes, so do not try to pack content worth 5 minutes in that 5 minutes. Try to pack in content only worth 4 minutes and 20 seconds or so that you can kind of give a breather. For two reasons. One, you have a very diverse audience of judges, so sometimes they may not understand your accent, especially when you're going fast. So try to keep it a little slow, keep the pace. Think Barack Obama and his pauses, right? It's very important even in a presentation that it's kind of like a communication with the other one. One of the best ways you can do it is dump all the text that you have on your slides, just put one big visual and talk to that visual so that people have nothing to be distracted and they focus on you as the storyteller or you as the hero of the story. We have source from Shankar. So the next team is Arnav and Avish from my favorite city in America, Atlanta. Never been there, so I'm sure they'll invite me. Arnav, you're going to present?
We both will present, actually.
Okay, who's starting off?
I'll start off.
Wonderful. So show me a good smile. Wonderful. Take a deep breath and your time starts now.
Okay, hi, my name's Arnav Kumar.
And I'm Arush Yadav.
And our solution is for Challenge S2 for the Bright Cycle Recycling Program. So first of all, let's take a look at a key definition in the problem statement, which is PPE. PPE, of course, stands for personal protective equipment. It's an $84 billion industry. So there's a lot of recycling potential. It includes everything from rubber gloves to plastic helmets to plastic boots. So let's take a look at the status quo of the market, which is the issue that Ansel is facing currently. So PPE waste isn't sorted well at recycling plants. In general, the quality of recycled plastics is very low. Only 10% of collected plastics end up being recycled, and the other 90% ends up in landfills, in the oceans, and everywhere where essentially it should not end up.
Now, the main culprit behind this issue is a lack of transparency and reliability in PPE waste sorting. So Ansel is catering to two main brands, CleanGuard and Kimtech, and they need to separate this from other brands. So there's currently a deficit in sorting technologies leading to low quality and recycled output. And there's a lack of transparency about this sorting that leads to a lack of trust in the industry for recycling data.
So our solution involves using digital watermarks on personal protective equipment, and we manage the data and processing of that using blockchain. So let's talk a little bit more about digital watermarks. So we did a lot of research into this topic already, and there is an international effort known as the Holy Grail 2.0 project, which is in place, which is already partnered with 150 plus entities in the plastic industry. They've collaborated with a company called Digimark, who implements their digital watermarking strategy on plastic products, which can be detected by high-resolution cameras at recycling hubs for separation. So this is a quick visual of how this works. These digital watermarks are not visible to the naked eye or regular cameras, but high-resolution cameras at recycling stations can see these watermarks and be able to classify different types of plastics.
So what we're proposing is a public blockchain ledger to improve the traceability of this PPE. So we're storing the data about the type of PPE, the brand, and the make in Holy Grail 2.0 codes on the protective equipment. And this will be stored in a blockchain, creating an immutable public record that serves as a reliable and transparent indicator of recycling history. So what we are proposing is that this would improve the quality and allow people and companies to track the life cycle of PPE products and allow Ansel to have more data to make informed decisions about recycling in the future. So basically, how this would work is every piece of PPE manufactured by Ansel's partners would have a code on it that is connected to the Holy Grail 2.0 system. And this code would identify the type, the brand, the chemical composition, etc. And the recycling station, a high resolution camera can scan this code and use it to find the code and look that up in the blockchain. Then the recycling history of this PPE can be stored in the blockchain to track the type and brand of plastic, leading to a better quality of recycled plastic.
Okay, so our idea is essentially formed at the intersection of partnering with the Holy Grail 2.0 project for digital watermarks on PPE, as well as quantity management and tracking with blockchain. So the potential for our idea is vast. Of course, there's going to be better sorting of incoming PPE waste at sorting facilities, and this means less goes to landfills. And then there's also going to be a greater quantity and quality of recycled PPE because there's going to be less contamination in the sorted waste buckets at the recycling stations. So the
Last 1
output
minute.
of recycled goods will be a lot higher. And then lastly, there's also going to be better data and tracking due to better quantity management through our blockchain technology.
So the potential impact of our solution is very vast. What we're projecting is that the amount of plastics being recycled can increase from 9% currently to as much as 30%, which is a very significant change, both in terms of financial impact and sustainable impact. And using our computer vision-based Holy Grail codes, we can reduce the rejection rate from 20% to as little as 5%, which is a fourfold decrease, of course, which is very significant.
Okay, so this is our team. We're obviously two people who are very passionate to use computer vision and digital watermarking to improve the efficacy of recycling plastics. Myself, I'm Arnav Kumar. I've worked with computer vision in the startup world, and I've also worked at an NGO before, so I have experience in this field.
I'm Arush Yadav. I've worked in fintech in rural India, and I have a patent for blockchain technologies. And basically, I want to bring the security and reliability of blockchain to all industries and help promote sustainability.
Time's up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
So let's go to Shankar this time.
Hey, Arav and Ayush, you've taken a very holistic approach. You guys have a visionary attitude to the whole issue. The question I have for you is going to the fundamental base. Yes, you want to partner with Holy Grail to do this effort. It'll help the whole industry as such, not just Ansel. But going to the basic, the camera that you mentioned, have you guys looked at what is the cost of that camera and how easily it is available?
Right. So in our solution, what we're proposing is a normal high-res camera and not something like an infrared camera, for example. So while it's more expensive than a traditional camera because we need to identify the QR codes which are not visible to naked eye, it is a lot cheaper than some of the other alternatives proposed, like an infrared camera, for example. So it would cost between a couple $1,000s for an individual camera, which is not that expensive considering that this is implemented on the recycling plant side, which means that we would not need as many cameras as if we implemented this on the consumer side. So from a cost standpoint, the benefit gained from the improved sorting is much bigger than the cost of the cameras.
So my recommendation would be for your next round, add some numbers in terms of the financial repercussions of this initiative.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Awesome. Andrew?
Yeah, same with Shankar. I love the way that you stepped into the message. You didn't just dive in. So you walked me through understanding your scope, the problem, how you're addressing it. I like the fact that your problem that you're addressing is bigger picture. So you're focused at the macro problem rather than the transactional event that's taking place. I'd be curious again on the numbers. You made some good reference to what the market opportunity is. You didn't create any reference or indication as to where the revenue opportunities are, subscription, participation, be it Ansel. This thing is bigger than Ansel, it sounds like. It sounds like there's a lot of opportunities to grow here, so I would want to see more content there. I'm curious around the technology access. Would this be more of a SaaS platform play that you make available to various plants and that sorts of thing? Would it be a kind of drop ship type solution offering you've got? Or would you expect the sorting plant to have their own infrastructure put in place and then they leverage the data in the back end to facilitate the automation?
So essentially, our solution is we're catering to recycling plants, in particular, Ansel. In our specific problem statement, they have a Right Cycle recycling program, which is their own program where they recycle in particular clean tech and clean guard equipment. So we would be partnering with Ansel, giving them our technology for to use in their own recycling plant, but certainly there's a lot of potential to collaborate with other big players in the recycling market to use our technology. So yeah, that's essentially what our business model is like. We're essentially meant to partner with the companies that facilitate the recycling, so it's not consumer based. Of course, it's very difficult to change consumer behavior, but if we're able to sell how the potential of our technology to these select clients in the recycling industry, I think we could be very successful with that.
Awesome. Sandy?
Hi, this was a pretty different out-of-box solution that you guys have given. My question was, this was focused more on plastics and the waste coming for Ansel is a lot more beyond plastics, especially masks and other packaging material. So we will not address the other material. It's more plastics, and the cost of implementing this watermark is going directly to Ansel, and the incentive for those disposing. So the entire ownership is lying on Ansel and not on the companies that are disposing this material. Can you clarify that?
Okay, so first to talk to the part about the plastics versus other materials. So what we talked about plastics was with the Holy Grail project, which currently does cater only to plastics. But the benefit of our technology is that it's expandable to whatever material we want. We can expand digital watermarking to any kind of material and any kind of PPE. Currently, the Holy Grail project is specifically for plastics, but we are using the Holy Grail project as a building block and not making that our entire technology, which is why we can expand to whatever material that we'd like to. And about the second part for the responsibility and the cost being on Ansel. So, yes, what we're targeting is Ansel and recyclers rather than consumers because we think that changing consumer behavior in this industry is not sustainable and it isn't a solution that will work in the long term. We need to partner with the actual recyclers to sort out the PPE and the plastics more effectively. So we do think that Ansel will have to have some kind of trade-off between paying to make the watermarks and getting better recycled output. But based on our projections, the quality of the improved quality in the recycled materials after sorting with the QR codes and the digital watermarks will be much more than the production cost of adding the watermarks to the products themselves.
Also, to add on to what Arish said, because it's the PPE plastics that already have the digital watermarks as sorting stations, if the high resolution camera detects something that does not have that digital watermark, it will of course be put in a separate bin to all the Ansel branded PPEs. So that's how we'll make sure contamination is minimized.
Atul, last question.
There are a few things. First, you mentioned about the transparency and the blockchain, but you didn't define what exactly you are going to do with the blockchain. And here, what exactly in this process, what will be handled by the blockchain? Second question is like, which is already addressed, like you didn't mention anything in the financial numbers in the outcome, right? And third, where you mentioned your stats, like about the plastic and all, you didn't mention like what is the source of your data. Like you calculate it just it on the basis of the assumption, or you are like getting these figures from somewhere. And regarding this high resolution camera thing, why didn't you think about the NFC? Because it is way cheaper, and if it is embedded, like a small scanner can detect any PPE kit. So these are questions.
Right, okay. So starting with the part about the blockchain and transparency. So what we're aiming for is to promote reliability in the entire recycling industry, starting with Ansel. So by making a blockchain with publicly available data about the recycling history of a particular product, what we're giving manufacturers the power to look at the data behind recycled inputs and make informed decisions about how to use that material. And we have a reliable and verifiable history behind that product, which cannot be altered. So what we're doing is promoting trust for Ansel and for the entire recycling industry with the public and with manufacturers. So that's the first part, answer to the first part of the question. And Arnav, if you'd like to take the second part.
Could you remind me what the second part was again?
I mentioned few things. One was like source of your data, like whatever the graphs you mentioned, and why not to use the NFC besides this high resolution scanning thing.
Okay, so for our data, we of course had conservative estimates. We've researched into the implementation of the Holy Grail 2.0 project. It's upcoming in the past few years, and they've had a sort of linear growth as they increase their partnerships one by one. So we're following, we sort of copied their
Sorry,
model to make a prediction about.
Arnav, we are already out of time. So
Yeah.
just a question, like this was an estimated number by yourself, or you just put these numbers on the basis of some research?
This was our estimate based on our prediction, based on our research.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thanks
I'll
for
have to stop you there for one of time. So I can see that except for Atul, everyone else has scored. In the meantime, can I request Shankar to kind of introduce himself? The first time I saw your name on the screen, Shankar, I was thinking it's the singer, right? So I'm sure you must be getting that quite often in your life. So Shankar, over to you.
Yeah,
Shankar Jackie
that's a
Singh.
very common question that I get. And whenever people ask me, can you sing? I say, at your own risk, I will do it. So I am Shankar Mahadevan. I live in Atlanta. I'm a supply chain. I worked in Coca-Cola, Duracell batteries, and Science Co. My background is pretty much in supply chain, warehousing, transportation, logistics, production, manufacturing, any of those spaces. But I also work a bit with technology as well. So it's a combination of processes, technology, strategy. I don't have any association with Thai directly, but I did meet Dr. Lopez as part of another event. I volunteer with an organization called SEVA. SEVA is a nonprofit organization that does a lot of has got international visibility. We do activities in Atlanta, and we had a SEVA Thai event, and I had met Dr. Lopez as part of that.
Wonderful. So I know whom I should call when I come visiting Atlanta to go have a tour of the Coca-Cola factory. One of anyone in India, I think one of the biggest remembrance of Atlanta is the Coke plant. And Shankar, are you coming into India for the Kumbh Mela for the Seva project?
No.
No. Okay. So for those of you on the call, the Seva team is trying to give out 500,000 glasses free of cost during the Kumbh Mela, which is like the largest gathering in India. Think around 400 and how much is a million? So that's like think around 60 million people in a 4 square kilometer space coming together at one point of time. So that's what the Kumbh Mela is. And we have Hassan Kamal and Shreyas Srivastava ready. Who's Hassan? You're presenting?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Give me a good smile, put your AC on, and your time starts now.
Okay, everyone, how are you all? Today, I'm excited to present an innovative solution to a pressing challenge in our industry, the sustainable recycling of personal protective equipment, or PPEs in short, alongside plastic packaging. And as we know, the proper segregation and disposal of these materials is crucial, not only for the environment sustainability, but for the bottom line. Now, to address these challenges, me and my teammates, we have proposed a subscription-based recycling model that will transform how we handle PPE waste. This model transforms and encourages our customers to purchase Ansell branded PPEs while providing an effective and scalable recycling service for non-Ansell products. Now, I'll walk you through this core of the business model. First, our subscription tiers. We'll offer 2 plans, a basic plan, which will provide free or discounted recycling specifically for our Kimtech and CleanGuard lines, and a premium plan where customers can subscribe to recycle all brands of PPE. And what's more, those who purchase more Ansell products will receive reduced recycling fees, creating a direct incentive to choose us, which means that's brand loyalty for the customers and for us, Ansell. Now, coming to the operational flow. Upon onboarding, customers will select their subscription tier and receive color-coded or RFID-enabled collection bins to minimize sorting errors. We will then collect PPEs and packaging right from their locations at their homes or their workplaces or their schools, wherever they are in the world. Now, our collection points will feature AI-powered scanners that automatically sorts waste by brand and material, dramatically reducing human error. Now, once collected, this waste is sent to a facility where IoT sensors will scan for contaminants, such as hazardous materials or competing brands. If contamination occurs, we will notify our customers instantly through email or a dashboard, ensuring transparency and accountability. Now, when it comes to billing, our system will reward customers for choosing Ansell. There will be no extra fees for recycling our branded PPEs, while a small surcharge may apply to non-Ansell products due to additional sorting effort. Now, to further motivate sustainable practices, we will provide discounts on or even carbon credits for customers who meet specific waste reduction targets. Now, to continually improve our services, we will employ Power BI dashboards for real-time data reporting. Customers will get insights into their recycling progress and contamination rates, and therefore helping them make informed decisions. Now, let's talk about the key benefits which all of us want, right? Particularly about the carbon footprint model, as we think we should have elaborated a bit more. Now, coming to the first point, favor rejected shipments. What we mean by this is by improving the sorting and the quality control process in recycling, favor shipments are rejected. This ensures that waste is processed efficiently, reducing resources spent on transportation, handling the disposal and contaminants or indirectly sorted materials. Second point, utilizing advanced tools for tracking enhances operational efficiency. Now, this model uses technologies such as RFID tags and IoT sensors to track waste materials from collection to processing. This provides transparency and helps companies monitor their waste, reducing the need for manual checks and streamlining operations, which in turn cuts on emissions from unnecessary transportation and waste handling. Coming to the third point, this benefit emphasizes that the model sustainable practices such as reducing rejected shipments and using other efficient tracking tools will directly lower the carbon footprint. By streamlining the recycling processes, less waste is produced and therefore fewer resources are used. This leads to a reduced greenhouse gas emissions, aligning with the company's goals to operate in an environmentally responsible way. Coming to the fourth point, this part shows us that the recycling model is not only beneficial for Ansell but also for its customers. By providing a recycling solution that helps customers achieve their sustainable targets, the model supports stronger long-term business relationships. When clients see their own environmental goals being met to this service, it fosters loyalty and strengthens partnerships with Ansell.
Last minute.
Now, coming to the conclusion, this subscription-based recycling model is not just about waste management. It's a whole strategic approach to foster and forge deeper connections with our customers while contributing to a greener planet. By leveraging technology and innovative incentives, we create a win-to-win scenario that not only meets today's sustainability challenges, but also paves a way for a more responsible and efficient future in our industry. Thank you.
Wonderful. That was well in time. I'm a bit embarrassed looking at myself on the screen. So let me stop sharing. Yeah, cool. Let's go to Andrew for the question.
So same question around the finances and the incentives. Give me a sense of what you're thinking on putting together the model. I didn't get a sense of how you were going to get the engagement, find the money and pay the incentives to get people participating.
It's like, first of all, we have a subscription model that's either basic or premium. Now, depending on either one of these two, the customers, they will choose that. Now, what we are planning to do is we're planning to put IoT sensors, which is basically any other camera that will record whatever is happening in front of it. And using IoT and machine learning practices, we can therefore see what the customer is putting in the bin. It could be some other plastic, some other form, it could be anything. Therefore, we can keep segregating on what kind of plastic it is, and therefore, when the company comes to the, it could be the workplace, could be home, or could be wherever else, the company will have an easier, they will find it easy for them to segregate the waste and therefore recycle it further later. That's the plan.
Thank you. Atul, your question, please.
You mentioned subscription-based model in the start. Like, what do you mean by the subscription? Because you didn't define the subscription thing over there.
A subscription model, basically, it's like let's say a company, they're providing its customers as a recyclable option. So the customers, they can choose whether they want a basic plan or a premium plan. Now, depending on either one of these two, the company sees that if they choose a premium plan, they see there's more advantage to the customers and to the company. At the same time, if they choose a basic plan, there's a relatively less advantage. That's the whole point here.
Makes sense. As it is already defined to you, like, because you didn't mention any numbers related to the finances and the incentives. And even for the same, like for the subscription, you need to show some numbers. Like if like the premium user will get this and this in numbers, and the normal user will get this and this in the numbers. Like entire role of this gamification over here, right?
Yes.
Overall good. Thanks.
Thank you. Shankar?
Right. Hassan, you had a very good presentation. The slides were good. Your focus was on the two brands that Ansell has got, right? And so you want to, did you consider that there is a risk of losing a certain percentage of market if we focus only on those two brands?
To counter around that, I think it's we are focused mostly on the products that we think are very important in the future, and because one of them is a product, one of them is so that mostly people from the laboratory, the scientists use. Like, for example, if you're working in a laboratory and you're working with virus samples, with bacteria samples, right? in order to prevent contamination or the spreading of anything, you need proper set of safety measures, and that's why we need to focus more on these products, because one of them is a glove which one of us can use. Like if, like, let's say for example, I am wearing gloves and I'm touching on something that's contaminated, but later when I reach home I can remove the gloves and I can therefore have a sense of surety that I haven't touched anything contaminated yet. I'm talking about this as a context of the COVID times, like the 2020 to 2023. I'm talking specifically about that time period.
Well,
Probably I was unclear with my question. In your second slide, you mentioned that your focus is on the two brands that Ansel was specializing in,
Yes.
right? So if you focus only on those two brands, there is a certain percentage of market from the other brands that you're likely to lose. You want to mention something to that effect in your next, when you go to the next level, that how you would counter that situation.
I think we would counter it as in a way that, like, whenever people they think of a specific product, they think of Ansel, right? You get what I'm trying to say? It's like if I'm thinking of gloves, I'm thinking of Ansel. If I'm thinking of protective gear, I'm thinking of Ansel. So by focusing on these two products, I think it's yeah, sure.
So, basically, the plan for the two brands is in the basic plan. Is in the basic subscription, and in the premium plan, we have the diverse companies which will collaborate with us to process our materials, to process their materials, and we have a proper solution. We are using
Shreyas, maybe you can switch off your video to save some bandwidth. Shreyas?
Buying
Shreyas, can you hear me?
Softwares and we're using automation. We're using.
Shreyas, I'll have to stop you there. We are not able to hear you. Shreyas? Yeah, Shreyas, there's some problem with your bandwidth or the connection. So maybe I'll just go to the final question and then we can move on. Sandy, your question, please.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sandy, can I just pause you for a minute? Shreyas, you can type your answer in the chat so that the judges can read that in the meantime. Yeah, please type your answer into the chat. Yes, Sandy, over to you.
Yeah, so the presentation was focused more on why recycling needs to be done, and on the subscriptions, focus on the rewards post-segregation. I did not see how the segregation would be done and where the segregation would be done. And my suggestion would be that the solution that we were expecting was not just the subscription part of how the subscription would run, but it was possibly missing the innovation to solve the problem of segregation. So, do you want to explain that, or if you go into the next round, would you have more details on resolution of how the process would be done and where it would be done?
I can clarify a bit on that. Basically, the segregation starts from the bin itself, from the IoT sensors, from the cameras around the bin. The segregation starts when the customer puts a specific type of a plastic that is being identified by the IoT sensor. This information goes to the Ansel, and when the Ansel or the other companies they come to take the waste products for the recyclation process, they see that this product has been recorded as this type A, this as type B, this as type C, and therefore the recycling process can be done accordingly.
Wonderful. Due to want of time, I'll have to stop you there. And judges, you can start scoring. And Andrew, if you could let us know who you are.
Yep, so I'm a serial COO. I've got broad organizational background, software development, data, business analysis, product support, outsourcing, business process optimization. I've worked in a lot of countries. I've worked with a lot of startups, moving them from India, South Africa to the US. I'm trying to get them established. IP, HR, scale up, scale down hiring. So a lot of broad background, and I enjoy working with Ty to help folk like yourselves find your feet and how do you move forward.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Andrew. And it's been a pleasure hosting all the four of you as judges. The teams, can I request you to go to the main room? We have some entertainment lined up for you. No, that was a lie. Just go there while I have a couple of minutes with the judges, and then we'll see you there. Thank you so much, TiEU. Thank you. Yes, Dr. Lopez.
Coming over there to do some Bollywood singing for you. So.
We have Shankar Mahadevan in the room, so he will do that. Good. Just stay here. Just stay here.